A fresh irritant to some. A sanguine memory to me.
And welcome back to more Darkest Dungeon. This is episode 6, week 8, getting underway. And the town is abuzz, Devatron. A crumbling stone entry to a forgotten labyrinthine garden has been uncovered. The discoverer, sadly, has perished from innumerable insect stings. Concern rises. So apparently stress reduction activities in town are slightly less effective. Okay, so this is just one of a couple ways that the Crimson Court DLC tries to force you into interacting with it and venturing into its zones and dealing with all it has to offer. There are some other more immediate ways in which it does that, which we will encounter later. So 4 weeks have gone by since we last slayed the Necromancer Apprentice, and we've picked up a few more recruits. You can't see them all at this point in the roster, but we've gotten a Houndmaster, we've gotten a second Shieldbreaker, an Arbalist, another Vestal, a Flagellant, I believe. And here there are a couple on the stagecoach that I want to get, but once again, our roster is full, so we're going to have to shuck and jive, convert some heirlooms in order to purchase the next hero barracks upgrade and make room for these new heroes. Okay, while we do that, we can go ahead and talk about the heroes we're going to recruit. You can see we got a Highwayman, Bounty Hunter, Grave Robber, Occultist, and Hellion. I'd like to get the Bounty Hunter and the Occultist. And although I don't use them that much, if there is room, I would like to get the Grave Robber.
Great heroes can be found even here, in the mud and rain. To fight the abyss, one must know it. The thrill of the hunt. The promise of payment.
Okay, so now we have an Occultist and a Bounty Hunter for our roster. We only need one of each of those. We also, in the off weeks, picked up a second Highwayman, and I'm comparing him here to the new one on offer. I don't like the new one, so I just go with the Grave Robber, and then we can move on.
To those with a keen eye, gold gleams like a dagger's point.
Alright, so from this point until we actually embark on the quest, you're noticing that I've sped the tape up here, just a little 2x multiplier, so you can still kind of see what I'm doing, what's going on, but without it taking so long. This is one of those stretches that might seem kind of unnecessarily long, and I would probably agree with you. However, there are a couple reasons for that. In addition to just the normal, let's check all the quests available, which do I want to do, let's check my spreadsheet, my master plan, who needs experience, who needs to avoid experience, etc. Take, for example, the sanitarium, right? Once I decide on the quest and have my group picked out, well, then I need to commit one of the heroes that's staying behind to the sanitarium in order to cure a negative quirk. Well, at this point in the game, I only have one space available in the sanitarium, but I have like 18 heroes that need a quirk removed, you know what I mean? So sometimes it seems like I'm just pondering, unnecessarily for minutes and minutes and minutes, but a decision like that is pretty important. When you can only get rid of one and you have 18 that you need to get rid of, which one do you do, right? So that's some of the problem. as to why it takes so long to get through these hamlet turns, at least, early in the game like this. And then there's just, like I already mentioned, the usual concerns of who do we take, what do we do, how do we spend our gold. It'd be great just to always upgrade every hero you take and all their skills and their weapons and armor, etc. But you got to watch your gold. You got to remember to leave enough gold to provision for the quest you're doing. If it's somebody that you're not going to use that often, you might not want to trick them out and waste a lot of gold on them, you know what I mean? Whereas heroes that you use all the time, for example, Vestals, you might want to go ahead, like I do here, and spend a lot of gold on them, because you just always constantly need them and you're always constantly using them. Okay, so as for this first Farmstead quest we're going to be doing now, a light in the sky, you can see that I've taken a shield breaker, highwayman, jester, and vestal. This is a very solid, very standard composition for not just the Color of Madness DLC quest, but also the Crimson Court DLC. It's pretty standard to always take a vestal to heal and to always take a jester to stress heal. And then as for the other two slots, highwaymen and shield breakers are just magnificent. Sometimes you mix it up, maybe a Hellion, maybe a man-at-arms, etc. But this is a very solid choice, and you'll be seeing it a lot. So without further ado, let's get ready to taste the Color of Madness, Devatron.
Blight had struck the harvest again that year, and the miller was desperate. He came to me, hat clutched tightly in filthy fingers, stinking of sweat and manure. Seated comfortably in my observatory, surrounded by telescopes and other delicate apparatus, I recognized his misfortune as an opportunity, and I agreed to lend him my expertise. Champion falls. The blood quickens. Obliterated. Disadvantage. Give them no quarter. annihilated.
All right, so we're getting underway here, and it's not really clear what's going on. We stepped through a celestial cornerstone. It took us to this weird ethereal space. We had a pool of monsters. We killed them, and now there's another pool of monsters. So it's not exactly clear what's going on.
Eradicated.
So there doesn't appear to be any kind of map in here. We're not moving from room to room or passing through any hallways. It just appears that we're kind of standing in this wooded glade, fighting these waves of monsters. There doesn't exactly appear to be torchlight, and yet in the upper right corner there seems to be some kind of meter, and it appears that the more monsters we kill, the more that meter fills up.
Inspiration and improvement.
So while it's not clear what this place is or what we're doing here, we can take some direction from the quest objective in the upper left, defeat all enemies, and combine that with this meter in the upper right that seems to be filling up as we kill more enemies, and hope that once we do get it all the way full to the right, we'll be allowed to leave.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive. Another one falls. A death by inches. A victory. Perhaps a turning point. As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. A brilliant confluence of skill and purpose. Begone, fiend. Decimated. Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all. is the weapon that cuts on its own. Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. Executed with impunity. A decisive pummeling. The bigger the beast, the greater the glory. Another abomination cleansed from our lands. Festering fear consumes the mind. Back to the pit. The slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving. Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
All right. We don't know what it means, but a pretty epic marathon arena battle, Devatron. Look at all these kills piling up. 20 kills. So yeah, we'll have more to say about what this Color of Madness DLC is and the way the combat mechanics work and all that. But for now, let's just be happy that we were successful. Looks like a little bit of XP and some Nice positive quirks on everybody. Early riser's good on Roque, +2 speed. Dud hitter, not so good on Valance, but what can we do? She's a Vestal. The darkest dungeon color of madness, Devatron. We will see you in the next episode.